At some point in the digital age of boss babes, new money, and ambitious rookies, we stopped consulting our village's wisest. Women have been the heartbeat of the world within their respective communities, workforces, and families since the dawn of time. They are the magic makers, the peacemakers, and the ass kickers. Let's celebrate them with the matriarchy party. Hello, and welcome back to Matriarchy Party. Thank you for joining us today. You are in for a treat. I have someone so special to me. You may know her as the Chief Donut Officer and owner of the Best of Phoenix winning Chin Up Donuts here in Scottsdale, Arizona, or that she has an incredible marketing background, especially for such a young age, including working on brand and campaign events at Amazon. Maybe you've heard of it. And she has a degree in design management. But how I know her, I've known her my whole life because I've known her whole life. She's my little sister, Alex McEntire.
Woohoo!
Welcome to Matriarchy Party.
Yay, thanks for having me.
What a delight. We have probably similar matriarchs, I would imagine, because we have so many cool, amazing women in our lives. And I'm so happy that you're here and grateful and so excited to hear from your perspective. You may not know yet, I think I've mentioned it before, that I have two sets of twins in my family. So I have a twin brother and my little sisters. One is Alex and she has a twin Sam. So she never gets to do anything solo, including birthdays. So this is a real treat to have a one-on-one combo.
So get to fly solo today.
Yes. Well, welcome.
Yay, thank you.
Let's first start off with telling our listeners who your matriarch is and their relationship to you.
Yeah, so my matriarch would be my mom. Oh, well, I kind of have two. So if we need to choose one, I'll stick with my mom. But I have my mom, obviously your mom too, which is exciting. And then my great-grandma Gladys, which is, she is my paternal great-grandma, I guess, my dad's grandma, who owned a dairy farm and was just another very strong woman. So I have many strong women, but those are my two. We can stick with mom if we're
No, we'll talk about both.
Okay,
cool. I love it. That is so exciting. And mom is still here and great grandma has left us. She was almost 100 when she did. So she had a very full life,
That's
but
right.
Excited to shine a light on both of them. First, let's start with a little more about you. And well, I guess tell us about Chin Up. I mean, you've had it almost 6 years now. What? Well, 6 years you've been like cooking it up, but your shop since November
2020. So just celebrated 3 years.
3 years.
Crazy, which seems like a lifetime and also less than that. 3 months at the same time. It's all flown by and it's been a lifetime worth of work and memories and excitement. So, opened. I've been doing pop-ups in farmers markets and stuff for about 6 or 7 years. I worked at Amazon, as you alluded to earlier, was in branding and marketing, started making donuts and baking just as a side hustle, as something fun, a creative outlet, and thought I was doing something fun and more unique than I saw being done at your traditional donut shop. So, started selling donuts from my little donut trike in the streets of Seattle outside my Amazon office. So I'd make donuts in the morning, sell donuts, and then go to my desk job the rest of the day. So that was the kind of side hustle. And I knew I wanted to come back to Arizona. My family's here. The sunshine, I miss seeing the sunshine and getting my vitamin D. So moved back to Arizona with the goal to start the brick and mortar December of 2019. So that was an interesting time to move back. Started doing pop-ups, COVID hit, and then I just decided to still go for it and open the brick and mortar shop 3 years ago, November of 2020. So I have the one shop in North Scottsdale, Frank Lloyd Wright and Scottsdale Road, and then one in Old Town Scottsdale, about 20 minutes south. So that one just opened in April of this year, so 6 to 8 months ago. So now I have 2 locations.
2 children.
Yes.
It's been so exciting to see it all unfold because, I mean, as you mentioned, this started, your mental fitness, me and your twin always talk about, wow, I wasn't given that gene. And I don't know, maybe Grandma Gladys passed it on to you and not me because I need my sleep. I don't know, I'll wilter. I know you do too, but I feel like it is so amazing to work a 40-plus hour a week job and then start something that's just sparking joy, a creative hobby on the side. And it was just, you taught yourself something, but a lot of us start hobbies and they're not good enough to make a business about it. Like as much as I'm like, ooh, I want to be a serial entrepreneur and I can monetize this. Usually it's like, just have a hobby that's for fun and nothing else. But like now then it evolved. I mean, you had your cheer squad really there of just like so many cool women who would show up at all your events and support you. But in the rain, you're out there back in Seattle, and there's an umbrella, and you have your trike, and
it was the worst umbrella ever too. It was a sun umbrella, not a rain umbrella. I was getting rained on. And
great for business. People are like, poor girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Buy a donut.
Felt bad for me. Yeah. I took the pity sales. I'll take it.
But then now it's evolved into this like award-winning business that's been written about everywhere, especially locally here in Phoenix. And you've been all over the news. It's so exciting. It brings a tear to my older sister eyes. I'm just so proud for you, but it's been so cool to see it all evolve, and you've had so much success, and to also see the blood, sweat, and tears, and just how 24/7 launching
Donuts
something like
sleep.
this. Donuts, you know what? People want them all day and night. So, yes, congratulations. That is so great.
It's a labor of love, but it's been a fun adventure to see. As with any business, you kind of see the evolution of it, but it's been tough, but fun.
a labor of love, and thinking of donut puns, because we work in donut into every pun and one-liner we can. Donut ever give up.
Yes.
And chin up, you live in a world with donuts. Okay, well, when we think of a matriarch, this is what I start the podcast with. We think of a woman who's the head of their family, tribe, or organization. When in your life, you have a lot of women around you, but kind of forging other paths. But when did you feel like there's been a time where you had to demonstrate those traits of matriarch? I mean, in the traditional sense, maybe you're like a mother and you have lineage, but you are a mother to a large pit bull. But yeah, have you felt like there's been experiences where you were like, I have to do this or no one else will, and I'm the matriarch of this organization or group? Or
yeah, I think obviously leading a business, the business is like feels like a child as well. So being the matriarch of that, and chief donut officer, owner, CEO, wearing all the hats of the business, so feeling like the matriarch to my team that I have. That's definitely one. And to kind of go back before or during the beginnings of Chin Up, even at my team at Amazon, I started, there was like 12 of us. And by the time I was leaving 7 years later, there were 400 members on our team. So really feeling like a leader within that team, but feeling really encouraged as my team saw me grow Chin Up to just leave Amazon pretty much to start this business. I got so much encouragement. But kind of started a ripple effect within Amazon of people kind of looking at their lives and looking at them in a corporate position. Like, do I want to be here the rest of the life? Amazon is kind of the company that you can work for decades and decades and change career paths and stay at the same company. But it was really cool to see with me leaving, there was kind of 3 or 4 or 5 different team members that left after me within the next 6 months to a year. So kind of cool to see that ripple effect of me going out on my own and that kind of being an inspiration to others at Amazon, which was cool.
Yeah.
Whether that's starting their own business or going to a smaller startup or whatever that was. So that was kind of one thing that came to mind of being like a leading force with that, of people taking a look at their lives and how they want to change and maybe start something new, or just are they satisfied and excited to work at their day job every day. So that was something cool. And then, being the leader within my business, obviously being the 100% owner and operator and getting to call all the shots and try and be the leader within my team here.
And wearing so many hats.
Yes.
I mean, I imagine you're a matriarch of every division of the company.
Yes.
Do you feel like there's been a particular like defining moment or like story of encouragement or regret within launching your business that you can share?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many cool ones. As much of a struggle having a team is, I always say that's one of the hardest parts of having a business is running or hiring employees and keeping a team, keeping them motivated. So having just some really highlights with people saying like this is the best job they've had, and just loving working for me and working at Chin Up and just being excited. That's always like so encouraging. And then, I mean, you said it earlier, winning Best of Phoenix, Best Donuts was just like, it's interesting winning an award like that. You're like, oh, is it editors? Is it voters? Is it all my family and grandma voting online? Maybe,
a little combination.
It still means so much to say like I'm on the right track. I started this. I didn't quit everything and start this business for naught and have a crappy product. It's obviously doing something good and providing something to the community. So being able to win that award, and then it just was so encouraging to my team. So seeing like Chef Zach, that's been with me since the beginning, was like so exciting. We both had like tears in our eyes and had the biggest hug. Like 3 years, I guess at that point it was 2 years of just like constant work, waking up at 1 and 2 a.m.
Grinding.
Grinding, and then getting an award of the best donuts in such a large city was just like the coolest feeling, and such a like felt so good to win that. And then felt so good to share that with my team too, because they've all worked super hard to win it and help build this alongside me.
So magical. I think it makes that much more exciting when you get to celebrate it with people who have been there with you from the beginning. You've seen so much success in this business that started as a countertop hobby. What do you think like success means to you? Like, do you have a definition of it?
Yeah, I think when I started it, it meant something different than it does now. Yeah. I was like, had big dreams of how many locations I wanted, of like 10 locations in the Valley, every part of Arizona. I want to take over the Southwest with donuts. And now I think it's tweaked into contentment and satisfaction within my life holistically, I guess. Mm-hmm. I was like, and I still have those big goals, but I think right now I'm focused on like, let's enjoy the journey, enjoy the day to day. I don't want to stress out and cry every day. That's not success. Even if I would be making a ton of money, if I'm crying every day and stressed and working 80 hours, that's not successful to me. So just being contentment, finding ways to find joy in the day to day, talking to customers and building this kind of slowly but surely. So maybe it's not a number of stores or a dollar amount in sales. It's really just a lifestyle that is kind of what I envision for myself. So having time to spend with my family and friends and time off and also providing a really good product. So I think that's it's a smaller version of success, but that's like...
Well, it's holistic, like you said. I think it's encapsulating life beyond your job.
Yeah.
Even when it is your company and you love it and it's so much of your life. I think, what is that quote? Like, a true measure of success is a calm nervous system. I think I've learned that in the last year, especially, of like finding balance when there's been a lot of unknown in my career, that it's more than the dollars made. Like if you are not feeling like content and satisfied and joyful with the time spent outside of work, finding true balance. I mean, it's a constant,
and it's never going to be
part of the journey,
perfect, but that's what I feel like. I had my mind focused on like a dollar amount for so long, or a certain amount of stores, and now I'm just like, I just don't want to be stressed my whole life. That's a good goal for me.
Sustainability is key, and keeping it like fun,
enjoyable,
still.
Like, I don't want to be burnt out another 2 years. Like, this is my end plan. I want to do this for another 2 decades, 3 decades. I don't want to be burned out in another 2 years. So
I love it. It's great wisdom that you probably took you 3 years to learn, but also better than 30 years to learn. Describe a time where asking for what you want paid off. Could be professionally or personally.
Yeah, I think I've learned that just being a leader with my team is I have to be really clear in asking for what I want from my team. That's the first thing that kind of comes to mind. This being my child and me interacting with customers and being in the shop all the time, I had complete control over how the brand was perceived and how people heard about my donuts and the different flavors. And now when I'm working with a team and have 2 shops, I really have to be like really honed in on how I want my team to operate. So asking them for what I want, like, this is what I want you to say, this is what I want it to be done. And not really in a like micromanaged controlling way, but just like, this is how it's done. I want to have standards for the brand as I continue to grow. So just asking what I want. And sometimes it's taken me a while to learn to be more confrontational and asking them like, hey, I don't see this being done. Asking my team for what I want from them has been like a big learning I'm like, why aren't they doing it? I'm like, well, have you told them what you want and what you're looking for?
Yeah.
So being more clear from my team members and really asking them for what I want and what I see the business and what I see, and what I want from like customers to experience when they walk in. So being really clear with that. And that's been, a learning curve as I kind of grow as a leader and a manager, a boss to all my team. So
well, and I think so much of the customer service or like energy and obviously enthusiasm for a product that you created a whole business around is so natural to you. And so I felt like when I was managing people, that was a challenge for me to learn, like, oh, there's so much situational leadership involved, and some people need a different amount of encouragement or follow-up, but also just like some things you cannot teach. And as much as you like the person, you're like, I need to like put my business owner's hat on and think, okay, you'd be great in this place. And maybe you want to be here, but there are some skills you need to work on before you can get there, and having those tough conversations. And not everybody wants to do every role, luckily, I guess, in that space. But sometimes you're like, oh man, this is something that I I've never thought about teaching before because it comes so naturally to me.
Yeah.
And you weren't raised in a family who was like singing everything and just like
always talking over each other.
Always talking at each other. Maybe you're getting a little bit of that now, but that's very interesting. How do you prepare for something scary?
Ooh, I'm fortunate that I've always been a confident person. I think we learned that from our mother. We're both are very much confident women and individuals, which I'm grateful for. Sometimes it takes a little bit more encouragement to get it out of me. I was telling you earlier, I was having a tough conversation with an employee, and I was like, I'm going to put on my best outfit. I'm going to wear a blazer. I'm going to get in my power stance. When I know there's something stressful coming on, it's just more of a mental game for me. But sometimes that comes out. I'm like, okay, I need to wear something good that I can feel confident in, and I can handle and tackle a challenge if I feel good kind of externally, and kind of go from there. I was like, put my blazer on, get in the mindset of a boss lady, because I'm just always want to be everyone's best friend, to be friendly, and sometimes dealing with stress and hard situations. It's just like, okay, I got to get over this hump, and I've got to put my serious game face on and kind of power through it.
And I feel like it's your armor to be dressed in a certain way. I feel like that with blazers, red lipsticks. I'm like, okay, now I have my armor on, but I still like a power pose. But it's all a mental game for sure. Yeah. Make faces at yourself in the mirror, like practice what you're going to say. But we like to be liked. We want to be friends with everybody.
I know,
but it's just you have to be the boss. Sometimes you can do both, but a lot of times you can't. When's the last time you did something just for fun?
Ooh, I feel like I'm pretty good at this. This is one thing, like I prioritize sleep and working out, and usually things of fun sprinkled in. I'm trying to think of one particular thing. I did a volleyball tournament in Mexico a few weeks ago, like a month ago, and just left the country to play volleyball, and I don't even play volleyball. So I was like, great.
And that's confidence.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, I'm fairly tall. I can pick it up. Sure.
You're athletic.
So yeah, just got to be on the beach and play volleyball, and it was great. So got to escape and have some fun. I
love that. I think that you're very good about, like, as much as your schedule is penciled to the minute, I think that has been a learning for you is like, if I don't schedule it, it's not going to happen. So things that like spark joy, the glimmers.
Yes. And I think it's hard too to prioritize that. I feel this weird pressure, like you always have to be working. If you're not working, you're like, what are you doing that for? Like, it's not business related.
Yeah.
And no one else is thinking that, but it's all in my head. It's just like, well, if I'm not working, they're going to think I'm like a slacker, or I don't really deserve this, or whatever it is. So I'm just like, you have to kind of turn that off and just be like, I need to have fun to stay sane.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take even an afternoon off and go do something.
If it's reading a book on the couch with Hank, the pup, or taking an afternoon off to go and sit on a patio and get some vitamin D. Like, it's just like, I don't think anybody's like going to catch you.
Yeah.
I think that like, when working for myself, I'm like, in case anybody walks in, look at me, I'm on my laptop. Don't worry. I'm like, who's watching? Nobody's watching. Well, wow. Let's talk about your matriarch. Kim. Spoiler alert. Kimberly Ann. So Kim is our mom. And have you always been very close?
Yeah, I think we've been, as close as possible for so many years. I mean, I moved to Seattle, so we weren't in the same state, but I've always been very close and kind of on the same page and calling and checking in on the same state.
And this is funny having it be our mom, because I'm going to ask, like, I'm like, did she work outside of the home? Like, I know it is my mom, but for those of you out there, like, tell us about her. Yeah. You're close now. She lived here in Arizona. When we were all little, how was your relationship then? Did she work outside the home?
Yeah. So she owned her own business. Our parents did. And so, they had their own business for the majority, I would say, of like our school age years. They owned an art and framing gallery. And so she was running, they had multiple locations. So they're running between stores, and like thinking of myself as a business owner now, and like doing all this with multiple locations with kids, like 4 kids. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this just exhausts me thinking about it. So it's fun to have a different perspective of it now. But she owned her own business for a while, and then was in management and retail for my high school and college years.
Do you feel like that entrepreneurial spirit came from Mom, like seeing her do that? I mean, now you have a new empathy and appreciation for knowing she had the 4 kids on top of all of the running around. But do you feel like in the moment where you're like, I'm going to have my own business, or that didn't really occur to you till later? And you're like,
I don't think it occurred. I think it almost did the opposite of saying, how owning your own business and just like the struggle, and especially doing it with someone else, that doesn't always work out, and seeing a business like it ended up ending. And I was like, I don't want to do that. Like, I want security. I want a paycheck from Jeff Bezos and health insurance. So I went in the complete opposite direction. And so, yeah, right after college, got a job with Amazon and worked there for 7 years. And so I think it was just like that entrepreneurial spirit. It just ended up catching up with me. So I think that it did come from her. And both our parents, it just took a while to catch up to me.
It's all about
timing,
huh?
Yeah. And realizing what's right for you at that time.
What do you think were or have been so far the defining moments of her career?
Yeah, I mean, being able to open your own business in itself
multiple
is a
times.
huge accomplishment. Yeah, multiple times and multiple locations, and like, yeah, having an art and framing, and then just having a gallery, like so many different iterations of a business and being successful, and then for so many years, and seeing how she was able to come to our school events and sporting events, and we were in every extracurricular activity and dance classes. And they were able to have that flexibility of having their own business, that they could leave and take us and pick us up from school. And I think it was so critical to just always have them there. Like, yeah, we're so great. They're always here. This is awesome. Like, I didn't know any different, but thinking of it now, I was like, man, they were just always there for us. We didn't think that was abnormal, but now I know, and seeing other people's
rarity.
Yeah, of how rare that is. So I think it was just so cool to have that instilled in us.
Yeah. Do you feel like there was another goal that she had before she had us kids that she put off?
I don't know. Maybe like the expansion of the business. I know she's always been so creative, which is something to think of, just like owning an art and frame gallery. And like, art is like, I would guess I was in photography class in high school, and I'm a fairly creative person, but I guess in a different way. So thinking of her like very like artsy gallery, thinking of that. So I think not like necessarily like she'd be an artist, but just more curated of different styles of galleries or whatnot, or a different kind of gallery, even if she could open her own today. But I don't know if it would be a different goal. I think that's an interesting question to ask her. What, hey, you don't have kids. Take us all out of the picture. What would it look like?
Well, yeah. Ask her that.
Yeah.
This weekend. What do you admire most about Kim?
Yeah, I think her just confidence in everything that she does. She is just like, and what she gave to us, if we think we can accomplish anything and everything, and it's because she is so confident, and she's always the funniest person in the room. Everyone's always looking at her, talking to her. She's cracking jokes whenever we go to visit her at work currently, or anywhere that knows her. Kim's your mom? We love Kim. I was like, I know, everyone does. I love it. So I think just that, like, just how positive and confident and outgoing she is, and everyone loves her, and she's the first one to crack a joke and make anyone laugh.
Despite any adversity,
yes.
She's the one cracking a joke, and she's like, great, let's go get dinner. I think like everybody has some family hard times, and we definitely did, and it was she did such an amazing job just doing that dance, so that we really didn't feel it.
Yeah,
and
keeping it light
and fun, and just encouraging, and still through that, feeling like, yeah, well, you're going to figure it out. You want to do that?
Stuff can suck, but we're still going to have fun and go for Mexican food.
We're still going to go get chips and salsa, so get in the car.
Yeah.
And that's priceless, I feel like. And like you said, like, you don't realize until you're older that you're like, all of the coordinating you were doing, all the behind the scenes. And
mental toughness, for sure. I mean, that's where I feel like so much of my like optimism and mental toughness to just get through things. Because I'm like, yeah, this really sucks, but I'm going to still have to keep on going. So might as well just make it fun and lighthearted and have fun with it and be positive about it. Because the alternative is just,
you're still going to have to do it.
Yeah. Or you'll be sad and like it'll suck. So.
Do you want to cry the whole time, or do you want to just gaslight yourself into being happy?
Yeah.
So true. Do you remember Mom having any, I mean, like now I can think of it, but like, I'm trying to think of any sort of like morning routine or things that she was doing like for herself, which I feel like that is the peril of most mothers, of like, you have kids and you're not really thinking about my morning routine. It's about getting us all to school and dressed. Yeah. But do you remember anything she did consistently for her?
I remember her playing softball, I think, which was always cool to like go to her like adult softball leagues, and Sam and I were just like on the bleachers eating sunflower seeds, and like Uncle Kirk, our uncle, was there. She was playing softball. So I always thought that was really cool, especially as I'm like thinking like, I wish I was in like a pickleball league or played more sports or something. I was like, that was cool. Like that was something, I'm sure she had zero time to it, but still made time to do something fun and get out there and play softball, especially something active, because I'm all about like movement and fitness and
Totally.
That was cool.
And like she made time to see her friends. Like
Yeah.
felt like dad saw his friends and she saw her friends every Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So it was great to be invited to that because we reaped the benefits. But
Yes.
I love that. What is one word to describe your matriarch?
I think I want to do something like tough or strong, but I think joyful. I'm just like, she's always smiling,
Yeah.
laughing. Like, even though there's so many emotions, so many stuff we've been through, but like, and maybe for the detriment sometimes we've never seen her cry, but she's always just cracking a joke and has a smile. And it's been so infectious. And I'm so grateful to have had that kind of role.
When you think about a lot of people don't have a joyful childhood, and we had a joyful childhood, and that is a great word to describe her. What do you think is the best advice you've ever received or something that stuck with you that she told you?
And it's kind of an inside joke now, but it's, you can do pretty much whatever you want. Because it was like taken out of context from a quote from a friend. But I've just instilled that and everything. Like, we can do pretty much whatever we want. And I was like, yeah, why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
So I think that's what we've just kind of taken and rolled with it. And she's like, yeah, whether that's like school-wise or sports-wise or now business-wise, I'm like, yeah, I can do whatever I want. As a start a business, sure. I have 2 locations, sure. I don't have the money for it, but I'll find it.
I'll figure it out on the way. We'll build the plane
Yeah.
while we're flying.
Yeah, so I think that's one of the greatest things. Like, we can do whatever we want.
I love
That's
it.
how we've lived life, so.
And on a more like vulnerable, more emo side of it, I feel like oh, honey, that'll stick with me. Although it's not advice or anything, but it's just like when you're just like need a mom hug.
Yes, a little pat on the back.
I need a text or a verbal, oh, honey, and then, okay, the waterworks. You're right. I just needed a mom hug.
Yes.
I love that. Okay, some rapid fire.
Ooh.
Is there a song, beauty tip, piece of jewelry, anything that makes you think of your matriarch?
I want to say We Are a Family.
So many songs.
We are a family, because we were singing that like in Sue's van, our aunt's car. Oh, goodness.
I feel like all of Whitney Houston, maybe anything on Millennium Funk Party.
Yes, Whitney Houston, Luther Vandross, any of
Yes.
those. And this is maybe not part of it, but Tresemme hairspray. I feel like that's hairspray smell.
No,
She's
I'm like,
always
that's a scent.
hairspray. That scent is just very him.
Now it's a Veda, but yeah, no, it's so true.
scent
Like
of
her vivid
hairspray.
smell of like hairspray perfume combo,
Yeah.
like it's locked in my nose forever. How do you recharge, and how do you think your matriarch recharges?
I love to work out, and that's like, even though it seems like the opposite of recharging, that's like how I get my day going, how I like zone out. I just don't think about anything else, but like I have my little fitness app in my ear, and that's how I like get going and recharge.
You want to plug them?
Yeah, Aptive. Shout out to Aptive. Akeem's my trainer out
You
there.
love Akeem.
So yeah, I love that in fitness and working out. And then mother, not really the fitness type, but she loves like a happy hour drink on a patio, and I think that's a recharging. Like
It's genetic,
work.
I
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things, other than working out on the opposite side.
sunshine.
Yeah. Sunshine, patio, margarita. And
Yes, I love it. When was the last time you or your matriarch tried something new?
I feel like we will try a new restaurant occasionally. I feel like that's rare, but that would probably be the one thing that I can think of trying something new. Like, oh, let's try a new, usually Mexican food, so we don't go too far out of our comfort
can't
zone.
stray.
But trying a new Mexican food, that's where we'll try something
That's
new.
as risky as we're going.
Exactly, stray away from.
Then it wouldn't be recharging if it was too stressful, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what is your favorite age you've been so far? You're very young, but I mean, do you have a favorite age or?
Gosh, I think like 27 comes to mind. That's like right when I was starting Chin Up. I was getting to do pop-ups on the weekends, and I was still in Seattle, working for Amazon. So I had the security of my corporate job, and I had I was working with all my best friends at Amazon. It was really cool. And then also starting this little side business that was really fun and kind of flourishing, and doing pop-ups, and had like a really supportive group of friends. So that was just like a really fun time in my life. Not as stressful because the business wasn't fully operational and I had a paycheck coming in. And then just had some really great friends that I met at Amazon, and still
are.
still close, that just came and visited me and live here now. So,
You know, 27 was also my favorite age. Now it's now. But also, great news for looking a decade ahead.
can be
so nothing but good stuff on the horizon.
good.
So great things to look forward to. Okay, final question. If you could say anything to your matriarch, what would it be? Do you want to try calling her to tell her?
live, you're
Live.
Phone a friend.
With Delilah.
I love that. We can try and call her. Yes.
She's very busy. So.
Can you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Cool. You're going to say to her that?
This is one thing I want to say.
To collect calls.
Would you like to accept the charges?
Yes, I will.
You're
Hello.
live on Matriarchy Party.
Are you ready?
Live. Are you ready? I'm always ready.
All right. Can you ask the
So,
question?
yes, my final question on the podcast, Alex, your daughter, is the guest today. If you could say anything to your matriarch, spoiler alert, it's you, what would it be?
All right. So this is me telling you just how grateful I am, because you'll hear all the podcasts, I'm sure, of all your amazing qualities, but just how positive and joyful you were throughout childhood and today. I was saying you're always everyone's favorite person and so bright and fun. And that's just been instilled with me, and we're always having a good time, no matter what's going on. Even when it's stressful or hard times, we're just always happy and smiling and making the most of things and cracking jokes and dancing and laughing. And I'm just forever grateful for that. So.
Wow, what a wonderful thing to hear today.
I'm a weepa. I'm tearing up. Nobody else is crying. Well,
Wow.
thank you for making our childhood so joyful and fun and light, and even when it was hard.
It's been a blast. Hey, I'm 4 for 4 as far as children are involved. So
Of amazing, successful
very
children.
happy.
And only more fun
Very
to come,
proud.
right? We're just getting started.
Yes, and starting tomorrow night, I think.
You're right. See you tomorrow.
Hey,
Well, thanks for
thanks,
picking up.
girls. I love you.
Love you.
Bye.
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 Cute.
She's like, I don't know what to say to this.
I just have you've never said anything nice to me in your life. So, wow. Oh my gosh. I love that. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Yes.
That was so wonderful. Guys, if you want to see more of Alex/Chinup, you can go to Instagram at Alex McEntire, McEntire, or at Chinup Donuts.
Follow
Really?
along, see all the fun flavors.
Follow and come say hi to her and visit and get a donut in the shop.
Yes.
Thanks for playing. We'll see you next week.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.